Welcome to the Cyber Tech Podcast, inside the minds of everyday IT and cyber pros. Your host, Mike Fierros, will dive deep into the world of IT and cybersecurity, bringing you the stories and insights of professionals who are making waves in the field. From how they got started, to their most exciting projects, and their advice for aspiring tech enthusiasts, we cover it all. So, whether you're an industry veteran or just getting started, join us as we explore the fascinating minds behind the technology that shapes our world. Let's get started.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike Fierros. You just tuned in to the Cyber Tech Podcast, inside the minds of everyday IT and cyber pros. And this episode is episode number 2 of the podcast. And I'd like to welcome a really good friend of mine and coworker. I've been working with him for years now and been my friend for years, kept in contact with him. This is someone that definitely want to have on the podcast, creating this podcast and whatnot. And the guest right here is Samuel Rodruiguez. He's a project technology specialist at GlobalMac IT. How's it going, Sam?
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
Good. How about you, man? Thanks for getting on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm excited. This is the first time that I'm on a real podcast and an interview. But yeah, I'm excited about this.
No, I appreciate it, Sam. I was mentioning you before the podcast recording. You know, you're one of the first ones I thought about getting on this podcast because you're one of those people that love helping people. You love technology, and I'm really grateful and honored to have you on the podcast, Sam.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, man.
And Sam, for the first question, introduce yourself to the listeners. You give an explanation of your background, where you're from, and how you got into IT.
Okay. I'm Sam Rodriguez. I'm from Mexico. I've been doing IT for more than 15 years now. I'm currently working, as you mentioned in the intro, with you. We're co-workers at GlobalMac IT, where I'm a project implementator specialist, where we provide support for a lot of companies around the United States. We do Mac support. I have been doing a lot of in IT. I have been from a teacher to a software developer. I taught software development. I taught computers from like elementary level to college level. Also, aside from IT, I'm also a musician. I'm a photographer.
Nice.
I like media. I do a little bit of everything.
And your experience as you mentioned, you were a teacher. Your experience as a teacher, how does that involve IT? Like, how did you get into starting to teaching?
Well, I got into teaching because my father, he's a teacher. Well, he's a retired principal now. When I told him that I wanted to get into the IT field and I wanted to go to school for IT, he also wanted me to also get a degree in education. I didn't. I just went for IT. But when I graduated from college, I ended up being a teacher anyways. So that's kind of like why I was into teaching.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, I think it kind of goes hand in hand. So when you got into when you got interested in IT, Sam, did you go through any training, or were you self-taught?
I wasn't self-taught for IT. So in Mexico, when you get to high school level, most of the high schools, they have a career path that you have to choose. So the high school that I went to, they had 3 options to offer. There was like business administration, accounting, and computers. I didn't like the the first 2, so I decided to go for computers. And I was kind of like inclined to just to play around with technology, like
Uh-huh.
little kids, we like to disassemble things. And I remember playing with things at home, like taking apart like the VCR and things like that, right? So when I got to high school and I saw that there was this computer career path, that's what I chose. And I started learning a little bit of tech support. I started learning about software development, which was one of the things that got me into IT because I really love developing. I really love coding and all that. It was really fun at school, and then it was just like no brainer. I was into that, and I decided to get a degree in computers. I have a bachelor's degree and if I do the literal translation, is computer system administration.
Nice.
But yeah, that's how I started my path into the IT career.
I like how you in Mexico right there you went through high school, but then you also had a program you guys had in your high school that allowed you to get into this trade.
Hmm.
How and I think that's really important because there's a lot of high schools, especially in the U.S. where we're in right now, that lacked that before, and
Hmm.
now the U.S. has playing catch up. I noticed that they're playing catch up on trades like that: electrician, IT, cybersecurity, plumbing. I think those trades are really important because obviously when you go through those classes in high school, you're ready. You're kind of almost ready for the you have those skill sets and you're ready for the workforce, and then you have the option to get your college degree and whatnot. That's awesome, Sam. How does you mentioned about you got into also media or and music? How does that play a role in in your development and getting to IT?
Well, it was the music and media stuff. It kind of, well, the music happened because my dad is also a musician, so
Nice.
he taught me and my brothers how to play some instruments, and we played with him. But the media stuff started kind of by accident because when I was in college, just after graduating from high school, and I started doing like IT side jobs, right? So
Mhm.
when I started my college, my pastor one time asked me to help him with an audio recording because we were gonna do like a Christmas play, and he wanted to try something new. He wanted to record the voices and play them in
Mhm.
the main speakers and stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, since you work with computers, you know this." Uh, so it was kind of fun. So that was the beginning for me for
Nice.
for media. And it was kind of like unrelated because yeah, computers and recording, and you would think you would know, but it's not. So I kind of was forced to learn how to record and start doing all this media and like video editing, and I like it. I mean, since then
That's awesome.
I've been doing it for the church, and it's a fun experience.
When being in the IT, being into these, the IT field, that's got to help help users that might have issues with like an audio format or a video format.
Hmm.
And then your experience in the media field, working on different projects you mentioned right now, that's got to help you, right, Sam? As far as like when you're troubleshooting or helping a user or a
Yes.
client with audio formats and stuff like that.
Yes, yes, and one of the things about being in the IT field is that misconception of what people think about you. It's, oh, you work with computers, you know every single software out there, and that's a good and bad thing at the same time because it kind of forces you to learn a new thing. As you mentioned, when we have a client that it's having an issue with, oh, I can't play this audio thing. I got this voicemail and I can get it to play, or I can't open this image, or I can do this or that, or this video doesn't play because it was from a Windows format and I'm on a Mac, or something like that. So it kind of forces you to understand what this media software does, and what are the formats and the coders and stuff, um so that way you can help your our clients better. But yeah, it's funny.
That no, that's that. I think that's really cool. Like it's funny, like when you're, when you're doing stuff that you love to do on the side too, you don't realize how that could also transition into your
Yes.
current profession, especially, or or trying to get into the profession of IT or cybersecurity. And and Sam, and to touch more on that, how important is that to your other skill sets you might have that may or may not pertain in IT? How can that benefit you, or how can that benefit a person that like, for example, if someone works in you know plumbing and wants to get into IT, how can that person use that skill set to transition over to IT?
Well, there are a lot of skill sets that you can transfer from one career to another. But to me, the main skill set or the main thing that you have to have, it's discipline.
Mm,
If you are disciplined enough to learn how to do certain things, that will get you into the field. And it's like on any career, as long as you're disciplined and learning and specializing in that area, you're good to go. Yeah, discipline is everything. It's forcing you to learn the trade. If you make a mistake, or if you have something that is going on, and you can focus on learning that, yeah, you're good to go. I mean,
I think that's really good advice, discipline, and and especially because I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, how do I work remotely? Like, for example, me and Sam, we both work remotely for GlobalMac IT. And you mentioned discipline right away. Working remotely is a lot different in working on site or premise with the IT team there. How did you transition, Sam, from working IT on premise with a IT team like we used to work together before in the past versus
mhm,
we work together now but remotely? How do you do that transition from on prem to remote work?
that's a good one. At the beginning, it was kind of hard to adjust. Before Global Mac, I used to work for a school district. I used to
Mm,
work for this technology consortium, and we provided support for like 25, 26 schools. And we were on site every single day. Transitioning from that to being remote, it was kind of hard because I was in the mindset of, yeah, I need to be there just to make sure this cable is plugged in, or just to make sure that everything's done. And maybe something that I can do in like 10 minutes, being remote and guiding the client to follow certain steps, instead of being 10 minutes, now it's 30 minutes. But it's just an adjustment.
mm,
It's hard. It's hard at the beginning, but as I mentioned, discipline and just
mm.
doing it every day, that gets you into that new mindset of, okay, I'm not on premise. I have to rely on my client, and I have to be like very clear in my directions when I'm gonna ask my client to do certain steps, and then the rest I'll just take care of it. Uh, but but yeah, it was a bit hard to adjust, but it's over time you get used to, or yeah,
That
over time you get used to.
that's true. You do. And what benefits, Sam, have you seen working remotely now, working at home and stuff like that? Because I've talked to a bunch of people that trying to get into IT cybersecurity and love the idea of working remotely. What benefits do you see in that?
The main benefit that I see is that you're not limited to an office space.
Mm.
Um, you're not limited to a specific room. As long as you have an internet connection, it doesn't matter if it's your hotspot or if it's or you go to Starbucks or whatever. As long as you have an internet connection, you're good to go. You can remote to any other computer and start service our clients, and that's it. That's the main benefit. You're not limited to a specific location geographically, and yeah, you're free to be anywhere.
That's awesome. No, yeah, there's tons of benefits, and I know people listening right now love that idea of working IT cybersecurity remotely. And remember, like Sam mentioned, discipline's a big factor. If you could discipline yourself, in the craft, even though you're working remotely, discipline yourself, get to know the tools and stuff like that. That's really really important.
Knowing your tools, knowing what you're going to be using, it's the key factor.
Since you work remotely, Sam, what kind of tools do you use now? I know you can't be on premise now, but what kind of tools do you use on a daily basis to kind of as you're going through your current position right now with GlobalMac IT?
Well, as you know, with GlobalMac, we use different tools. We use Adigi to as an MDM for our Apple devices. Um, we use a lot of Kaseya products like Uniview for spanning and email backups. We use this software called Pax8 for managing licenses for Office 365 and Microsoft things. OBRC for networking. We use Bullfish for our cybersecurity and email trainings and stuff like that. Uh, there's a lot of tools and a lot of resources that we start implementing for servicing our clients. I mean, these are the ones that we use on a daily basis, but there's a lot of tools out there like Jamf, like Mosul for MDM, Intune, or
Mhm.
for Microsoft. There's a lot of useful tools there that we can use.
I remember my the first prior to my work with GlobalMac IT, I worked for Expertex, and that was the first time I've really fully used cloud tools, and you don't really know, you don't really realize how powerful cloud tools are when you start using it as an IT professional, and it kind of blows your mind a little bit. And that's I guess that's one thing too, Sam. Just pop in my head is that for those trying to get into IT or cybersecurity fields, working remotely is to learn and learn what kind of cloud platforms are there. Google Admin, Google
Yes.
Console stuff, Microsoft 365, AWS, Amazon cloud portals. Get to know those tools and learn them in and out, and kind of train yourself. There's online training classes you could take too, but I think that's really important for those that want to get into working for an MSP like Lomac IT, or Pax8 is another one, another
Yeah.
company. Those I know their guys also work remotely. Sam, what's the most common ticket do you come across right now in your position?
Right now in my current position, my main focus right now is onboarding and offboarding clients. So I use a lot of those cloud platforms that you mentioned. So I use the Microsoft Admin Console and the Google Admin Console and stuff like that. So the most common ticket that I get, because I'm in the projects team, we don't get the day to day regular. Hey, I have an issue with my printer, or my internet it's failing, or something like that. We get other type of projects, and my main focus is onboarding and offboarding clients.
Yeah, it's you don't realize too when you're working at somewhere, and then you don't realize how much effort it takes for the people that work at that company, specifically for the IT team, to set up your accounts, set up your emails, make sure MFA is turned on, make
Yes.
sure your computer is working and on that, and that could be another route to take too, is on a project team for an IT, a tech company, or IT department. Sam and those guys, they work hard every day, and they're the ones that do a lot of the proactive stuff, right, Sam? You guys do a lot of proactive
Yes.
stuff, setting up computers and stuff.
Yeah. So our main focus is, as you mentioned, it's proactive. So it's to make sure that everything is going to work before the user gets to the computer, and whenever that person is in front of the device, everything should be working, and we should have the less problems in the future. So yeah, most of our job is just to, as you said, it's proactive. Is just to make sure that everything is working beforehand, and you're good to go as soon as you're hired.
and you guys are doing great work out there, Sam, on the projects team.
Hey, thank you, man.
Shout out to David, who's the project manager at GlobalMac IT. Shout out to him.
Yep, yep.
Really cool
David is
guy.
a it's a
Really
good
cool guy.
guy.
Yep, really cool guy. And Sam, when you're not in working in IT for GlobalMac IT or doing some tech stuff on the side, what do you love and what do you enjoy doing?
When it's not technology, I like doing a lot of things. It's funny, and if any of my former coworkers are listening to this, they know that I'm a big Disney fan. So anytime that we have the opportunity to go to Disneyland, we take that opportunity and just visit the park. Um, but I like going to the movies. I like watching all. We're in IT. We're
Yeah.
nerds. We're
Yep.
geeks. So we like all this sci-fi stuff, like superhero stuff.
There you go.
Uh, Star Wars. Star Wars is big here.
Yep.
So whenever I'm not doing any IT related stuff, I like playing music. I like watching movies, and I like doing all that kind of stuff.
That's cool. You know what, Sam? I remember when I first worked with you, Sam. With an old. I don't know if Eric is going to be listening to this or not, but we had an old IT director named Eric, and one of the things he mentioned, well, to us that one of the requirements to work in IT is to watch Star Wars, watch all the Star Wars movies.
Yes,
If you haven't watched them, it's a
yes, I remember
requirement.
that.
Remember that?
Yes, and it was really cool because when we were working together at Cocopa,
Hmm.
uh, it was funny because we shared the office. It was a really small team, right? It was
Yeah,
you, Lou, and myself in the
Lou.
same office,
Hmm.
and all day talking about Star Wars. All day
Yeah.
talking about Star Wars. The only time that we didn't talk about any Star Wars related stuff, it was when I got a call because I was help desk, and then when you left for doing a computer repair. That was it.
Yeah.
But the rest
Yeah,
of the
no.
day, just Star Wars all day.
All day long. Yep, all day long. No, I remember that. And I think what, Sam, that's another thing is camaraderie and as a team, whether you work remotely or you're on premise with the team, I think that's really important because when you're working especially something you love, it doesn't feel like work. Like
Yes,
it doesn't, and I think
yes.
that's really important. And for those, for those of you that don't want to get into IT cybersecurity, as long as you enjoy and you love it, that's the most important thing. And having a good team around you, getting to know people around you that are in to the fields IT or cybersecurity, it's real important to reach out to them. Reach out to Sam, reach out to me. We're willing to help you get any guidance like that. And as I mentioned in episode one, and I'll probably keep mentioning in this podcast, everybody that's in IT cybersecurity now always had help trying to get in there. Sam's taught me
Yes.
stuff. I've taught Sam stuff. Everybody that's in these fields have always helped each other out, and so that's really really important. And to keep that in mind, don't be afraid reaching out to, your local high school district or college that has IT courses or cybersecurity courses. Reach out to the professors. Get to know them, get to know the classes they have, and they're willing to help you. There's a lot of folks out there in these fields willing to help you.
Now, the thing that you're mentioning,
Mhm.
Mike, and sorry for
For sure.
interrupting, but
No, you're good.
that is one thing that we should be teaching or encouraging every single IT department to collaborate with other departments.
Mhm.
Uh, because over the time, well, you and me, we have this collaboration mindset that
Mhm.
if you need help, I'm there for you, or if I need help, I know that you're there for me, or if I have a question, I can reach out to someone and help me. But I've seen a lot of IT departments that are like so close, and they do
Yeah.
things a certain way and they don't accept like outside advice. Maybe there's maybe you're having an issue with your network, and maybe you're struggling configuring your switch or your ports, or you're having an issue with your MDM or something, and you're struggling, but you're so like closed minded to not reach out to other departments. And there are other people out there that are
Mhm.
willing to help, and that's what we need to start changing our mindsets. The IT world should be a more collaborative industry. Um,
For sure.
and as you mentioned, don't be afraid to ask. And if someone doesn't respond, ask someone else. Get
Mhm.
around people that are going to collaborate with you and they are willing to pass knowledge. Because
Mhm.
if I have all the knowledge and I don't share it, it doesn't do any benefits to me. You know,
True.
I mean, if I can help another technician to with something that I know how to do, and that person is struggling, hey, why not? This is
Yeah.
something that we need to start encouraging with other technicians to be more open to receive help from other departments, from other technicians, from other companies, from different technicians.
Yeah, no, Sam, you really nailed the nail in the coffin right there when you mentioned about collaboration. I too, like my experience, working IT all these years, even after we stopped working together on the same team, it may be part of like an old world thing where you especially before cloud computing and all that, remote stuff that we're doing now, the mindset was a little bit different.
Hmm.
Now that we have a lot of collaborative work now. I think you're right, Sam. Going to find help out there, finding IT folks who are willing to help and stuff like that, and changing our. I guess it just changes our. You gotta change your mindset about that.
Hmm.
Change your mindset about that. Like I try to, just like you said, I try to encourage people out there. If you don't know the answer, find a resource that has that answer, whether it's plug into a podcast like this one or another IT cybersecurity podcast. There's free resources online out there that companies and organizations are willing to help you and find. Like for the Yuma area where we're in right now, there is a Facebook group page called, I think, Yuma IT Professionals on
Okay.
there, and I think I put you on there, so I'm not sure.
I think I've seen some posts on Facebook about.
Yeah, yeah. For people listening to this, if wherever locality you're in, wherever you're listening to, find to see if there's any social media resources for Facebook, Instagram. There might be groups out there. They're willing to help you, get started into these fields and stuff like that. Reach out to us. But yeah, Sam, I agree. There has to be more collaborative work amongst IT cybersecurity professionals, not this closed-minded.
Passing along your knowledge. Like,
For sure.
one of the things that I really love doing, but I struggle still to this day, is networking. So in
Mhm.
networking, there's a lot of things you can do. In the past, I've tried to reach out to certain technicians and certain people, and they were like, "Yeah, just take care of this and don't worry about the rest. I'll take care of it." No, what I'm trying to see is if you can teach me so I can learn, and in the future I don't have to ask you anymore. I can just jump in and do it. Um, or maybe I will have a better question, or maybe I will
Mhm.
notice because now we have the knowledge. Hey, I'm noticing this. What? How can we improve this? And they will do more advanced stuff, and we can all grow together. But that's the things that I'm trying to talk about. It's just that collaboration. Don't
Sure.
be so close minded to, oh no, I have the knowledge. Let me do it. No, pass along that knowledge and let others grow. Maybe maybe you're not gonna keep in that area. Maybe you're gonna move to a different area, and that person that it's getting that knowledge, it's gonna excel in that path.
That's so true, Sam. And this is that's such great advice you're giving, especially for those trying to get into IT and cybersecurity fields. Is just before you get into this field, let you guys know this is a team. Team. I mean, and I guess any profession, but specifically for IT and cybersecurity, this is a team oriented profession where communication is key, and like Sam mentioned, and also discipline, like Sam mentioned, and so that those two are really important when it comes to these two fields right here. What advice or guidance would you give someone that wants to get into IT?
Yeah, my advice is like on any other career path, don't get into IT because you think it's easy. Yeah, some of the stuff are gonna be easy, like, oh, make sure that your computer is rebooted or stuff like that, troubleshooting steps. Um, don't get into IT because thinking, oh, it's an easy career path. I'll just get my degree and I'll start working. Get into IT because you like it.
Mm.
There are going to be a lot of times where it's frustrating, is stressful. IT is a big world. There's a lot
Mhm.
of areas where you can focus, like networking, system administration, tech support, help desk, cybersecurity, software development. A lot of areas. Find what you like and focus on that. Be disciplined to learn the trade. That's it. Do it because you like doing it.
That's a gem right there, Sam. You just gave out right there. A big gem.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah.
Sam, where can people find you if they if they want to reach out to you, kind of network with you? Where can folks find you at?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. My personal one, it's you can find me as Samuel Rodriguez. And also I have a Facebook page and an Instagram page for my side business where I do tech support. You can find me as SR Computer Services. As you mentioned, I'm located in the San Luis, Arizona area. So it's close by to the Yuma County. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
That's awesome, Sam, and I appreciate you on the. So such an honor to have you on here, Sam, and I'm always love working with you, Sam, and
Yeah, me too,
at,
man.
at GlobalMac IT, and I appreciate your time, taking out this time and your busy work day to do this interview and helping others out there to get into these fields and no, I appreciate it, Sam.
But no, I'm honored that you thought about me to be on your podcast, man. As you mentioned, from all those years that we met before at Cocopa, we became really good friends. We established a good friendship, and we stayed in contact all these years. And now it's a privilege to be working with you again. And
Sure.
yeah, I'm just looking forward to what's gonna be next and what are the next projects that we're gonna work together and see what the future holds.
And also, I'll go ahead and also put the resources you mentioned that where people can find you on the show notes on this episode right here in the on this podcast. That way, you guys want to network with Sam and whatnot. I'll go ahead and put those on the show notes. And
Sounds
thanks,
good.
Sam, again to be on the podcast, episode number 2. Thanks again, guys, for listening to the Cyber Tech Podcast, inside the minds of everyday IT and cyber pros.